Hey, you splendid bookworms, ready to dive headfirst into another literary escapade? Well, you're in the right spot. It's Caged by the Page O'Clock. I'm your host, David, your trusty guide through the jungles of classic literature. And today, we've got a time traveling extravaganza on our hands with H.G. Wells's The Time Machine. So grab your popcorn, fluff up that reading pillow, and let's strap in for a ride that's going to make Doc Brown raise an eyebrow.
Oh, great Scott!
This isn't just any classic, this is a time bending roller coaster. And we're about to hit the literary fast lane. Are you ready to journey through time? Because, baby, it's caged by the page time. Let's roll. Before we plunge into the story, let's take a moment to appreciate the literary genius behind it all. H.G. Wells. A true pioneer of science fiction, Wells wasn't just an author, he was a visionary who had an uncanny ability to peer into the future. His work transcends the boundaries of time, offering us glimpses into worlds that were beyond the imagination of his contemporaries. Wells was born in 1866, and he lived during a time of rapid technological advancement and societal changes. In The Time Machine, he skillfully channels his observations and concerns about the unfolding future into a narrative that is both captivating and thought provoking. Wells was more than just a storyteller, he was a literary architect.
Hello, Neil. Who are you? I am the architect.
Constructing intricate worlds with precision of a master craftsman. As a pioneer of science fiction, H.G. Wells paved the way for countless authors who followed in his footsteps. His groundbreaking concepts and narrative techniques laid the foundation for the genre. The Time Machine stands as a testament to his unparalleled foresight. Wells didn't just predict technological advancement, he foresaw the societal implications and the human condition in the face of progress. In The Time Machine, Wells invites us to embark on a journey that transcends the confines of our present reality. And don't we all want to escape from this present reality? I know I do. Okay, anyway. His narrative prowess doesn't merely entertain, it challenges our perception and sparks contemplation about the trajectory of human civilization. Wells was not content with the status quo. He dared to imagine, and in doing so, he opened doors to new realms of storytelling. So, as we dive into The Time Machine, let's keep in mind the brilliance of H.G. Wells, a literary luminary. Through his words, continues to guide us through the corridors of time and imagination. His legacy extends far beyond the pages of his books, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of literature and science fiction. Picture this. It's 1895. Corsets are in.
Next, there was Grandpa and Grandma. Every single morning, he spent a half hour packing her into her corset.
Appalling! A woman in her 70s, and her bosom is still growing.
Abe
And the Industrial Revolution is humming along. Enter The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, a literary roller coaster that catapults us into a mysterious world of an unnamed protagonist, aka the Time Traveler. And no, our Time Traveler isn't just a curious cat armed with a pocket watch. He's got a full-fledged time-traveling gizmo that would make Doc Brown from Back to the Future nod in approval. Our story begins with a group of eager minds, including our narrator, gathered around the time machine. And I think that's my cat. It is my cat. He's just dropping knowledge bombs. He's about to rock their world with a theory that time is the fourth dimension. But wait, it gets better. And before we go on, yeah, I mean, back in those days, time, nobody understood what the fuck time was. But yeah, anyway. But wait, it gets better. He pulls out a miniature time machine, makes it vanish into thin air, and leaves his guests with jaws on the floor. Fast forward to next week, and the guests are back for the story of a lifetime. As the time traveler stumbles in, looks like he's been through a time vortex. Dinner served, and the tale begins. Our intrepid time traveler has just finished tinkering with his time machine, launching himself into the future. And where does he land? Hold on to your hats. Although nobody wears hats often. Maybe beanies inside. I don't. It's the year 802,701 AD. A time that makes the present seem as thrilling as a slow motion replay. He steps into a paradisical world inhabited by the Eloi. These adorable humanoid creatures, ooh, they're so cute. They're all peace and fruit sharing, their utopian dream with our adventurous explorer. But here's where it gets spicy. The time traveler, after a leisurely stroll, realizing his time machine has pulled a disappearing act, cue the mystery music. Determined to retrieve it, he suspects it's hidden in the pedestal of a nearby statue. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Enter the Morlocks, the enigmatic white ape-like creatures lurking in the shadows. They're not the welcoming party he expected. Amidst the chaos, he befriends an Eloi named Weena. Weena? Because every time traveler needs a sidekick, right? And if you watch the movie, it's just kind of like a weird little love thing, but I don't know if that's really that really connects in the book like that. But whatever. Now armed with the courage and a stash of matches, apparently Morlocks aren't the biggest fans of fire. Our hero dives into the Morlock territory. The battle is fierce. The stakes are high. Tragically, Weena meets her demise in the giant wood. Undeterred, our time traveler discovers the Palace of Green Porcelain, aka a museum, where he arms himself with more matches, camphor, and a lever. Because who doesn't need a makeshift weapon in a time traveling adventure? The night brings a fiery showdown, and just when the Morlocks think they've got him cornered, our hero springs onto the time machine and zooms into the future. But the journey doesn't end there. Our time traveler goes on a time hopping spree. He encounters beaches swarmed with giant crabs, bigger than those Christmas Island crab monstrosities, or the lobstrosities from Stephen King's The Dark Tower. A bloated red sun hanging motionless in the sky, and a distant future where the air is thin and life takes the form of a tentacled blob. Meet your new god. He even witnesses a planet eclipsing the sun. Talk about a front row seat to the cosmic show. Exhausted but not defeated, our time traveler finally returns to the present, leaving us with a cliffhanger. The next day, he embarks on yet another adventure, disappearing into the folds of time, leaving us to wonder if he'll ever return. All right, time traveling comrades, let's dive deep into the cast of characters in the time machine. We've got the time traveler leading the charge, not with a sword or a cape, but with a contraption that makes Marty McFly's DeLorean look like a relic. Actually, I really love the DeLorean. I don't know. Yeah. He's not just a tour guide through time. He's the captain of our literary spaceship. The Eloi represent a seemingly idyllic society, enjoying a life of leisure on the surface. In contrast, the Morlocks inhabit the subterranean realm. Subterranean. Embodying a more rebellious existence as they scheme and plan for what seems like their own version of science fiction revolution. It's a dynamic that transcends the typical hero-villain narrative you often see, offering a unique twist to the conventional superhero showdown. But here's the kicker. These characters aren't just playing dress-up in Wells's imagination. They're his tools for dissecting the human experience. Like he's the literary version of Dr. Frankenstein, creating creatures that embody the very essence of societal struggle and progress. It's a character analysis on steroids. The Time Machine isn't just a sci-fi thrill ride. It's a philosophical joyride through the corridors of time. We've got themes of class struggle. And no, we're not talking about the struggle of deciding between first class and economy on your next vacation. This is next level societal commentary, with the Eloi and the Morlocks serving as living metaphors for the haves and the have nots. And there's a lot of those today. And don't even get me started on the passage of time. It's not just about watching the clock tick, it's about witnessing the evolution or de evolution of societies and civilizations. Wells isn't just an author, he's a time bending philosopher, completely expanding your mind, just like a Plato would, or a Socrates, or Aristotle, but in a more contemporary age. Now let's address the burning question. Why is the time machine still so engaging in the literary scene today? It's not just a classic, it's a genre defining powerhouse. Its influence has spread through the sci fi cosmos, shaping the minds of authors, filmmakers, and anyone with a penchant for futuristic pondering. The concept of the time machine owes a debt to Wells's imaginative brilliance. He didn't just open the door to the future, he kicked it wide open and invited everyone to join the party. So tip your literary hats, tip your fedoras to H.G. Wells, the unsung hero of time travel tales, and let the echoes of the time machine continue to ripple through the fabric of our sci-fi dreams. Well, fellow time travelers, that wraps up our epic journey through the ages with the time machine on Caged by the Page. We've peeled back the layers of characters, surfed the waves of themes, and ridden the roller coaster of Wells's enduring legacy. If you've enjoyed this literary escapade, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell, because we're not done exploring the cages of captivating stories just yet. Remember, the only cages we're trapped in are the pages of incredible books, and we're breaking free with every turn. So until our next adventure through the realms of imagination, keep those pages turning and stay caged by the page. This is David signing off. Catch you in the next chapter, my fellow bookworms.